The Pythagorean theorem applies to all right-angled triangles. It tells us that if we square the side length A and add that to the square of the side length B, that will equal the square of the side length H. In this triangle, side A and B are called the legs, and side H is called the hypotenuse. So looking at the squares of each of the sides, the square made by side length A plus the square made by side length B would equal to the square made by side length H. In this example, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the length of the hypotenuse in this right angle triangle. In order to find the length of the hypotenuse, we're going to use the formula a squared plus b squared equals h squared. So the squares of each of the legs added together equals the square of the hypotenuse. Filling in the information that we can see from our diagram, the altitude is 16 centimeters, the base is 12 centimeters, so 16 squared is 256, 12 squared is 144. 256 plus 144 is 400. So that means that the square made from the side length of the hypotenuse would be 400 centimeters squared. To find the side length of h, we have to perform the inverse operation of squaring, which is finding the square root. So if we find the square root of the right-hand side of the equation, we also have to find the square root of the left-hand side of the equation to keep it balanced. So the square root of h squared is h, and the square root of 400 is 20. So the length of the hypotenuse in this triangle is 20 centimeters. In this example, we're going to solve for the length of side A in this triangle. So because we're missing one of the shorter side lengths in this triangle, we're going to take the square of the hypotenuse and subtract the square of the base leg to find the square of the altitude leg. So now we've filled in the information that we know from our picture. The hypotenuse length is 10 centimeters and the length of the base is 8 centimeters. 10 squared is 100. 8 squared is 64, and 100 take away 64 equals 36. So the side length A squared is equal to 36 centimeters. To find the side length A, we have to perform the inverse operation of squaring, which is finding the square root. And if we find the square root of the right-hand side, we need to find the square root of the left-hand side to keep the equation balanced. So the square root of a squared is a, square root of 36 is 6. So the length of the leg A is 6 centimeters.